I would like to yield for just a brief moment to the gentleman from Prince William, Delegate Anderson, who is also a member of the Civil Air Patrol.
The gentleman from Prince William, Mr. Anderson, for a brief.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I appreciate the opportunity and the willingness of the gentlewoman to permit me to speak, perhaps from personal experience, about these great men, women, and cadets of the Virginia wing of the Civil Air Patrol. The Civil Air Patrol, as you heard, was founded on December 1st, 1941, just 6 days before the attacks on Pearl Harbor, in order to harness general aviation assets across the United States. Mr. Speaker, those assets have been grounded by general orders of the President because of the threatening war environment and the potential impact here domestically. As a result, the Office of Civilian Defense harnessed the organization and employed them throughout the war effort in flying over 500,000 hours of wartime emergency missions. And in the course, 64 Civil Air Patrol airmen lost their lives on wartime missions. The organization's first test came with a program called the Coastal Patrol, which was a period of time when the United States Navy had insufficient assets to patrol shipping lanes off the coast of the United States, the eastern coast, and the Gulf Coast for Nazi U-boat submarines that were literally sending American shipping to the bottom within sight of vacationers at resort areas on the Gulf and the East Coast. The Civil Air Patrol flew those missions and in the course sunk 2 Nazi U-boat submarines. Today, the organization performs non-combat missions at the direction of the Secretary of the Air Force. I was privileged, and the reason the gentlelady has yielded to me briefly, to serve during 3 years of my career as the national commander of this organization, which consisted of 17,000 units and 60,000 members across the country and in selected overseas locations. Today, the organization, as mentioned, has a cadet program, an emergency services program, and an aerospace program in the public schools across the country. Today, they fly strategic homeland security missions in the Washington, D.C. area. These are labeled as Operation Noble Eagle missions by the United States Air Force, and selected aircrew members have security clearances in order to do that. And so with that, Mr. Speaker and the gentlelady, I appreciate the opportunity to speak about the great men and women of the Civil Air Patrol.
We're honored to have the members from the Virginia wing of the Civil Air Patrol visiting with us today, and we thank you so much for all that you do for our Commonwealth. Thank you very much for being here. You can sit down now.